Alright guys, I am Isa. Today we're going to learn how to make a calendar in HTML and CSS and JS. The first thing I'm going to do is make all this code. I'm going to set the title to calendar. In the body, I want to make a div with the class of container. And also another div with the class of calendar. I'm going to say div with the class of months. Inside of that, I'm going to make a div. I'm just going to have that previous sign in it. Like that. Then I'm going to make another div. I'm going to make another div. It has this. Now I have those. I'm going to, between these two, I want to make div with the class of date. No div class date. So I'm going to say h1 says a and a p, which says we're going to say Wednesday, March. It's going to be March 2022. And have those. So after the div class months, to make a div with the class of week, days. I'm going to make a div. So we're going to make some divs. So the first div is going to say on. Next one is going to say on. Next one is going to say 10, 2, and next one's going to say what. Now we have all of these. And after the div class weekdays, like div was the class of days. Okay, so I'm going to make divs from 1 to 31. So I can just write that manually, but instead I'm going to write div multiplied by 31. It's going to make 31 divs. But what's inside of those divs, if you want to change that, then you can put these two curly brackets. So if I say something like text, 31 divs will say text. All we want is to say, I'm going to put this $sign. So the $sign means the number it's at. So now it makes some divs from 1 to 31. I'm going to link the CSS file. So link CSS. So our CSS file. I'm going to say asterisk, which means everything. This will go margin 0, padding 0, box sizing, border box, and the font family. I'm just gonna use the font family. So I'm just going to write this to import the font family I want to use. So now to change the font family, I'm going to say alt container and my font family, so like 65%. And it was supposed to be font size 65%. So now everything is smaller. Actually, this container is supposed to be HTML. So next thing I want to do is do font weight bold. Everything will be bold. I want this dot container. Let's say height 100 VH. I'm going to give it a height. I'm going to give it a width of 100%. So width 100%. I'm going to say the background of dark blue. So now it looks like that. I'm going to do display flags line items center and justify content center to put everything in the center. I'm also going to do color. Let's just say this color. That you'll be able to see the text. So everything's put in the center. I'm going to say dot calendar. Say width 72 rem and height 50 rem. Do 70 rem. I'll take that. I'm just change this height to 52 rem. Oh, the height is a bit less. Now I'm going to start the dot once. Give it a width of 100%. And I'm also going to give it a background of black, the color of white. I'm going to have a black background. I'm going to do a height of rem. I want to put it in a display flags. That looks like that. I'm going to say justify content space between. It smells like that. I want to do align items center. Now moves it down to the center. I'm also going to say text align center. Now to align the text to the center. I'm going to say months I. I'm going to do font size. I want to say 6 rem and cursor pointer. Instead of months I want to say months dot prev comma the months dot next. I'm going to go into my HTML and give this one a class of prev. And give this one a class of next. So class next. So now these things, they have bigger font size. And if you put your mouse on them, oh, there's just a pointer mouse. I'm going to do months h1, say font size 3 rem, cursor pointer. So this thing's font size has been increased a bit. I want to say font weight 400 and text transform uppercase. Obviously will be uppercase. So now it's like this. I want to say letter spacing 0.2 rem and margin bottom to be 1 rem. Now it has a bit of letter spacing and margin bottom. I want to say months p and say font size 1.6 rem. Now the p is a bit bigger. So for the weekdays, let's say display flex and align items center. And this now all of them are going to be on a single line. I want to say justify content center and padding 0 1 rem. So now there in the center. And I want to say position absolute. So now it's back there, but I want to say dot weekdays div, say font size 3 rem. And I have bigger font size. I want to do font weight 400. And also margin bottom 2.5 rem. So it now looks like that. Let's say letter spacing 0.1 rem. Let's say widths. I want to say calc, which is to do maths in CSS. So 45 rem divided by 5. Now if I run it, well, these ones are like more spaced out. I want to do display flags. Line items center and justify content center. Now they're a bit moved right. I want to say what's days. I want to say width 100% and display flex. Also flex wrap. Let's say wrap. So now they're on a single line. I want to say padding 0.2 rem and let's say margin top 4 rem. I want to say background. I want to be a linear gradient from green to white. Green. So now they have a background. I want to say dot days div. I want to say font size 3 rem. I'm going to say margin 0.3 rem and the width. I'm going to say calc again for 40 rem divided by 4. There's another like this. I want to say display flex align items center justify content center. Now they're in the center. Say transition to 0.2s means 0.2 seconds. Say color black and height 5 rem. It's not just like that. And so I want to go back to the dot calendar. Give it a background of radial gradients. Let's see purple. Never loaded. This thing seems like it has a background. I want to say dot prev date then comma dot next date. Say opacity 0.5. But there is no prev date and next dates are HTML documents. We're going to add those later. Just say dot today. The color light blue. I'm going to give it background light blue. And color going to be this. I'm going to say dot days div. And then the columns I want to say not dot today, which is not a dot today. Then I want to say hover. I want to do border It's 2 orient solid. I'm gonna put our mouse on them. They have a border. I'm going to say background dark green. So now they look like that. Lastly, on the CSS, I'm just going to go into our HTML and the link or JavaScript file. Just say scripts source cal.js. So the first thing we want to do is write const date goes to new date. So we're gonna have this date. So if we do a console.log date, so I'm just show up the console. So it shows the date. So it says Thursday, March 31, 2022, and then the time. So the date dot get full year, which is just a year. And there's date also dates dot get day. So it says 31, and today is 31. So date dot get the day. This says 4. So date dot get hours, get milliseconds, get minutes, and all this stuff. There's also get months. Just get the months. So it says 2. Since I want to make a variable, so const render calendar goes to function. So we're going to call the render calendar function down here. I'm going to say const months days equals to documents dot query selector dot days. So it's going to have the class of days. I'm going to say const last day equals to new date. To say so everyone has arguments to it. The first argument has to be the year, so date dot get full year, and then the months, so date dot get months. I'm going to say +1, and then the days, I'm going to say 0, so it has 0 days. For the console.log last day, it says Thursday, March 31, 2022. So that's the last day. So anyways, so I'm just going to this. I'm going to copy this last day. I'm going to change its name to const free for last day. So it says date.get full year, comma date.get months. Let's remove this +1. I want to say const first day index equals date.get day to get a day. And I want to go to this last day and previous last day. I want to add .get date onto some, so let's get date, so it's going to use the date section. I'm going to variable name const last day index. So equal to, I'm going to copy this one for the last day, except without the .get date. Instead, I'm going to say .get day instead of .get date. I'm going to say const next days equals to 7 minus last day index. So then I'm going to say const months is equal to say January, February, March, just use the square brackets. So May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. I want to say document dot query selector. So dot date h1 dot inner HTML. Or actually dot inner text is equal to I want to set equal to months. So date dot get months. If we reload it, it still says the same thing, but if we change what it says in the HTML, if we change it from some sick else like if I say something like April, it's still going to be March, so it shows the correct months. I need to copy this. Just say document dot state p, not in the HTML. Go to months. Okay, so instead of month date, I'll get a month. It's going to say date dot to date string. Now it says Thursday, March 31, 2022. I'm going to make a new variable, so say let days equal to, that's an empty string. Say for let I equal to 0. I'm going to say I was done or equals to last day. So I'll just say I plus plus, so I'll be increasing by 1. I need to say days plus equals div. So I'm going to say the div closing div. So if plus I plus that closing div. Say months days dot inner HTML equals to days. If we run it, let's do the same thing, but if we go into our HTML and go to our div class days, you can delete everything in it. It's still going to show the days, but there's a number 0 in it which we don't want. So I'm going to go to my JS file and set this to let I equals 1. There's so now do like that. I'm going to say if R equals, or we can just do equals new date dot get date. I'm going to say and, so do and do these two, so and date dot get months is equal to new date dot get months. We could do this. So this was equals div. I want to put in an else and paste it. So in this first one, I want to give the div a class of today. The div class today. Now the one that's today is blue. I'm not going to say. I'm going to say for what x equals to first day index, then x greater than 0, x minus minus, so x decreases by 1. I'm going to paste that code that we copied before. I want to do a div class equals to prev date. So let's say plus x. Now if we run it, let's say these ones, let's say 4, 3, 2, and 1, and they're transparent, but they don't show what we want them to show. Want them to show like 28, 29, 30, and 31. So instead of just saying x, we'll just say prev last day minus x plus 1. This now it says 25, 26, 27, 28, and then it starts this. I'm going to copy this for loop and then paste it after here. Say for let's j equals to 1. Let's say j something equal to next days. Let's say j plus plus. And to say div class next date. So instead of doing this, I'm just going to say plus j. I'm going to put in this months days.inner.html equals days. I have these ones to say 1, 2, and 3. So before just render calendar, let's say also outside of the render calendar functions, I'm going to say document dot query selector. No dot prev with add event listener. Just say click and comma function. But that's what happened on the previous button that gets clicked. If I do console.log clicked, so I just opened up my console. So if I press this previous button, it says clicked. So I'm just closing this. Instead of that, I'm just say date.set months. Date.get months minus 1. And then it's going to render as a calendar. If we press the previous button, it says February. If we press it again, it says January. And also the amount of days changes. Because the amount of days of that month. I want to do the same thing for the next button. So document.query selector. Next. I'll event this in a quick function. It's going to say date.setMonth, date.getMonth plus 1. That's going to render as a calendar. If we press the next button, what's that going to happen? So it's going to go to the next months. So anyways, that's the end of today's tutorial. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. So bye.